Hello and welcome. I am here to discuss the new hotness from Lord of the Rings Online, which is the Patron's Coffer of the Sands. I'm going to drop in here with the prices before we get into what's in each tier of the coffer. They start off with the bargain tier is 1,995 LotRO points. The mid tier is $39.95 LotRO points, and the top tier is $79.95 LotRO points. This coffer/offer is, as their usual want, a limited time offer, and is available right now between now, which is April 3rd, and April 20th, 2025. It may or may not return in the future, marketing, whatever. All right, let's get into what's going on with this coffer. I will shout out Standing Stone Games for being so kind as to actually drop a code on my head to let me give this preview to you. So that way you can kind of see what's up with it and decide what is right for you. As is their usual want, the website starts with the biggie stuff, and then works its way downward to the bargain basement, the cheap seats. All right. However, I start at the bottom and work my way up because I think in terms of cumulativeness. And there's only certain amounts of cumulativeness with this. And I just made that word up. Alrighty, so let's start at the bottom with the disclaimer. Number one, no upgrade offers are available. That means if you buy the lower tier and then decide you want to buy the mid tier, you're going to be paying full price for that, for that second coffer. And the same goes from, mid tier to highest tier, or from lowest tier to highest. It's going to be, there's no discounts. There's no, well, I already bought you're buying it all over again. The only reason why you might want to buy more than one is if you decide later on you want some of the stuff from a higher tier, or you want to buy Mithril coin, or you want to get the extra VXP. There's not, honestly, if you're in a position to get the biggie tier, don't even bother getting the lower tier. There's better ways to get the stuff that you're looking for, and more economical ones. That being said, each Patron's Coffer of the Sands, as they say here, can only be purchased once per account. While players can buy multiples, the only real benefit is the Mithril or VXP. So, anyhow, the Mithril and VXP will apply to the character you're logged into on the server that you're logged into. So if you want the Mithril coin on, say, Orcrist, you're going to log into Orcrist. If you want it on Landreval, you're going to log into Landreval. That's the way that rolls. All right. And you must be logged into a character to make a purchase, because that's how they roll, so they know which server that you're going to acquire your single per server goodies. So let's scroll up to the, well, it's already there. All right. So the simple coffer of the Sands, we start out with 100 Mithril coins. You get a title of the Sands after your name, so it's appended after your name. And you get a simple cosmetics coffer of the Sands, which includes 4 items: a cloak, a hooded cloak, the ceremonial spear, which is kind of cool, and the Tome of the Terror of the Sands, which is a terror bird pet, which you get all of these things, other than the Mithril. Everything else in that is account-wide, so all of your characters will get that. Again, you will not get the Mithril on all of your characters. You'll only get it on the one that you buy the coffer on. All right, next up, mid-tier. For $39.95 LotRO points, you will get all of the cosmetics and the title mentioned previously, but then they will add the weapon aura of the Sands, and they will add the Student of Hamat title. Your one character that you purchase it on will get a single lesser elixir of virtue, which will grant the character that uses it 2,500 VXP, Virtue XP. And then you will get 250 Mithril. You do not get the 100 for the lower tier. I might be very careful about it, because they're not doing upgrades. That doesn't stack, as they say. And then finally, the biggie tier is this one. They kind of front loaded all the good stuff on, the best stuff on, as sometimes is their want. Is instead of 250 mithril, you're gonna get 500 instead on that one character, and instead of one elixir of virtue for 2500 VXP, you're gonna get 6 of them, and that's gonna get you a total of 15,000 VXP on that one, on the character that uses those. Or you may take those 6 pots and use one on one character, use one on another character. You can do that if you like. Again, you get all the previous stuff other than mithril and VXP. So again, they don't stack. I want to be very clear about that. Add it to your cosmetics, your title, your pet. They're going to add the beauty and the terror as an additional title appended to your name. You will get the Milestone Style of the Sands emote. We'll show that to you here in a minute. You'll get the Tea Time of the Sands bobble, which when I saw the screenshots, is like, ooh, it's a China tea set with blue. Yeah, I'm in love with it already. I hadn't even used it, and I love it. You'll get the Steed of the Sands. You'll also get the War Steed cosmetics for said steed. And to complete your cosmetic outfit, you're going to wind up with the actual armor set. The gauntlets, the boots, the helm, the shoulder guards, the robe, and then that completes your set. So I wanted to actually take the webpage off here. I will be adding the page to the link below, so keep an eye out for that if you want to double check that. Let me yeet that into the sunset. I keep hitting, there we go, bye. Hi! I'm actually in my house at 7 Bay Road in Belfast right now. But I kind of wanted to organize my inventory over here to kind of show off what it kind of looks like from going lower tier to upper tier. So in the lower tier, you get all this stuff. You get a weapon aura, which a normal weapon aura, which will go with... Well, actually, no, hold on, time. This goes down here. My bad. My fault. That's my fault. All right. So for the lowest tier, you get the pet, which I was a little bit surprised the pet was in the lowest tier. Normally, I would have expected that to be in the mid tier. All right. So you get the pet. You get the ceremonial spear of the sands. You'll get the cloak and then the hooded cloak. All right. So first of all, let's go take a look at the pet. I'm going to need to find a place for this. There we go. Let's go take a look at our new friend. Let me turn this off. Let me zoom in. You are an ugly cuss. Look at you. Look at you. It's basically a dinosaur terror bird. And let me see if I can find out what your name is. Let me turn my nameplate back on. Can I click on you? Can I click on you? No? Alright, hold on. Let me turn my nameplates on. Because I had them turned off for reasons. Alright, player pet names. There we go. My pet names. There we go. And player names. There we go. Gotta wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay. Dinah. Dinah is the terror of the sands. Hi, Dinah. You're so ugly. And for those who, I'm not gonna actually, no, we'll talk about that later. Ask me about terror birds some other time. All right, so Dinah is going bye-bye because we're done speaking with Dinah. All right, so anybody who remembers Dinah, it was the lady cat in Lady and the Tramp, I believe. Was that her name? Either way. Okay, let's go back to our inventory. And so we're going to go take a look at the cloak. And what we're going to do is we're going to use our Happy Fun thing here to pop this up here. So this is the cloak. Usual really cool Shigani filigree styles with the I love the tassels. The tassels are awesome. All right, let's go see how it dyes. So let's try my favorite to start with. Arid Luin Blue. I actually kind of like that it's not too saturated. It really makes the design pop on here. All right, let's try Crimson, another really good one. I think actually the design doesn't pop quite as much with Crimson, but it's really nice. Let's go with Ranger Green. No. You can kind of see that too. Moria Silver. Yeah, kind of looks pretty cool. Rohan Green. Ooh, that is pretty rich. Which was it? Rivendell Green that I was looking at earlier. It was Rivendell Green. Yeah, that's really rich. That's really nice. Okay. All right. So that's what the cloak looks like. Now let's go take a look at the spear. And the spear looks like this. I really... Wow, that's a pig sticker. Alright, so we've got basically this snake design on both the top and the bottom of the spear with some little ruby design going on there for their eyes. So we got two snakes on top. It's almost like a caduceus. And they got, I don't know, a little feather thing here. A little, maybe a tuft of grass or something. That's kind of cool. That's definitely a pig sticker. I like it. Yeah. And of course, this is going to make somebody's day very unpleasant. Okay, so that's the spear. And that is what you get with the lowest tier of the coffer. Now, the mid tier adds basically, you know, let me show you the title before we switch out as well. And I'll put my title back when we're done. So, if you get the lowest tier, you get the Of the Sands title, which will look like this. Of the Sands. Alright. So switching up to the mid tier, you're going to get an additional title. Let me use emote. Alright, you're going to get... Actually, let's go take a look at the flavor text on Of the Sands real quick. Oh, it's going to be the same. You are recognized as a valued patron and admired for the ancient Hamati influences displayed in your style. Okay. We know that Hamat is part of the content pack that's coming up, so that's a thing. All right. So, again, Student of Hamat is the next one, the mid tier. So let's make that active real quick so you can see what that looks like. And the only additional cosmetic you get with the mid tier is this really cool red looking weapon aura. So I'm going to try and get this thing set up on one of these so you can actually see it really nicely. We'll set it up on, well, the winter one is not right. We'll use this one. It'll be fun. All right, so we're going to briefly interrupt our shenanigans here by switching over to a different cosmetic outfit. We're going to make all of my weapons red. So that is really cool. I think the actual design takes maybe the River Hobbit design. And no, actually it's a paisley. It looks like a paisley if I look at the swords. Hold on. Let's do this right. It looks like a paisley, and I like the bright red emissives. Those are really good. I do want to actually... I'm going to try something here because of something that one of the developers said in the official. And I think it might have been Celestrata. I'm going to go find out what's going on here. Somebody was asking about the travel thing. So we'll test this out here in a minute. But yeah, actually it is a paisley. If you look at it real close on the swords, it really is a paisley. Let me see if I can get in the better into the light. So yeah, that's totally a paisley. I love it. That's a beautiful design. Okay. So that was, again, the mid-tier. And let me get my inventory back. Pardon me. And if you get the high-end tier, you're going to get the rest of the cosmetic outfit set. So we're going to... I'm going to override this outfit set. I'm going to be sad. I'll put it back. Unless... No. We'll fix it. We'll fix it in post. Alright. We're going to put this on. We're going to put this on. We're going to put this on. Oh, let's turn my hat on. Ooh, I'm creepy. All right, put that on, and put that on. And I'm also going to pop them up here. I should have just done this. That's fine. Alright, so this is what the outfit looks like. Let's get that out of the way. Let's get the rest of this out of the way. Ah! Well, now I learned that you can't turn your stuff off when you're using that. Okay. So, let me put the cloak back on. That particular outfit. Well, okay. I didn't actually show the hooded cloak. Hold on. Hold. So the hooded cloak will override the helmet, and this is kind of what it looks like. Which is really, really neat. But I do want to use the regular cloak so we can see the helmet. That helmet is really badass. And you can also see it here on my person here. Let me put it on the cosmetic outfit. Yeah, so it's all the same. There we go. So let's take a look at the outfit as such on a person. And I also do want to put on the final title. Alright, title is going to be The Beauty and the Terror. If not for the fact that the title I normally use on Phoenix is the perfect title for her, I would just, this would be a good replacement. But anywho, let's take a look at this outfit here. Woo! Very, very red. I do like the belt particularly. Oh my gosh. That is pretty nice. Yeah. Alright, so let's go take a look at the outfit in the wardrobe thingy so that we can see how it dies. We already saw the cloak, how the cloak dies, and now we're going to see how the rest of it dies. I'm imagining that helmet is not going to do anything. I'm imagining it ain't doing nothing. Okay. So, let's get this out the way. I'm going to turn my nameplate off for a few seconds. And get that out the way. And we're going to start with Arid Lewin Blue for everything. I wish there was like a change all button that would... one thing I will note, the shoulders do not dye, and neither do the gloves or the boots. Actually, the only thing that dyes out of this set is the chest piece. Oof. And the helmet and the cloak. Everything else, man, to be able to dye this would be amazing. Yeah, basically this is all that will dye with the outfit. That's a little bit unfortunate, I'm not gonna lie. And it would be nice if the tassels also dyed to match whatever, and I was kind of expecting the helmet to be that way. So I would guess if you like any other colors than like earth tones, yeah, dyeing this outfit probably isn't gonna work unless you match the cloak with something else. But that do be what it do be. This is definitely intended to be kind of you know, red. Okay, so there's one couple other things we have with this set. Is you get a horse. Actually, let me pop in my VXP. Ooh, 500 mithril coin and my 6 VXP pots. We'll put them down there. I'm going to use the horse. We'll show it to you in just a few seconds. And then we're going to grant the Milestone Style of the Sands. We'll show that off here in just a few moments. And also the Tea Time Sands Bobble. We'll show that off here right now. So, let me first of all get that out of the way. And let's get our mount situated to where I can find it. Learn how to type. Okay, Steed of the Sands. We'll check that out in a minute. And baubles are in the collections window. Whoop. Baubles. And you can see the ones that have, and of course the first dwarf candle bauble I got was the blue one. Of course it was. Okay. Tea time of the sands. Long dark tea time of the soul. So let's go take a look at the bauble. Now, I'm going to have to put my headset on for this because I'm told that there's some really loud and obnoxious sounds with this. So I got to hear them. Pardon me. I can understand that some people really hate the sounds that people make while they're eating or drinking. And so, yeah, the slurpies, I can understand how people will want to immediately filter those sounds. That one. Okay. So that's the tea set, the long dark tea time of the soul. And you get back up. All right, let's go back to the collection window and find our emote, which is the Milestone Sand. Sounds like a sandstorm. Okay. So let me first of all get my Milestone default skill. So I'm actually going to trigger it. And the bobble is still there. I can kind of see that it's sunk into the floor a little bit. You can kind of see that. So I imagine what it would be like on a different, it might just be because I'm inside a house. All right. Let's go take a look at the sound is like a sandstorm effect. And I'm going to cancel it because I'm then going to go and follow Celestrada's advice. I want to see what happens. So we've set the thing here, and now I'm going to use a travel skill, and we're going to see what happens. Neat. And I cancel it right at the end. All right, let's go somewhere very cold. And this will give me an opportunity to showcase the horsey while we ride up to. I'm gonna go via Bree actually. All right, wakey. Let's grab the horsey. Take a quick look at it. So this is the horse. The horse. Of course. So it's basically earth tones. I'm a little bit surprised there isn't quite as much red on it. I was expecting a little bit more red, but that might simply be. I have the Forachel light here on my house. I was expecting a little bit more reds and a little less browns. Maybe a little. It's not burgundy. It's not quite burgundy. All right, let's take a moment and we'll do the Worsted Cosmetics as well, so you can see what they dye like. So, yeah, let's do. Oh, now we have two of them. Okay, of the sands. So it's this comparison. This is the gear. I still would wish Standing Stone could make it so that the gear that fits on the back of the horse's rump can actually dye like everything else. But let's go. Let's dye everything Erdluin blue because you know that's how I roll. So we can see how it actually looks. Okay, you can't dye the saddle on this one either. Can't dye the leggings, and you can't dye the gear. So let's apply. Yeah. Okay, and let's get on the War Steed and see how it actually looks. So very little of this set actually dies. As you can see, very little of it actually dies. Okay. Alrighty. Now that being said, let's go visit Bree real quick. Because I want to go someplace very, very cold. Which means we're going to go to Forgel. And this character has unlocked Swift Travel up to Forgel. Alright. Unsurprisingly, it is layered as hell in Bree right now. It do be what it do be. Alright. So let's go see if there's anything cool with this set. With the milestone skill when you fire it off near Surikaila. At least, hey, we're going to get the actual Forgel nighttime skybox, which will be really, really cool. And I'm noticing the little tendrils, the darker red tendrils on the thing. Alright, this will do. This will do. Alright. Here we go. Here we go, kids. Look how pretty this is. Okay, so what was Celestrata talking about? Let's find out. Let's try to return someplace else. Whoa! What? What? Oh! That's baller! That was cool. So this is the first time a milestone skill like that gives you something different based on where you're traveling from. Now that does make me wonder, are there other variants based on other locations? That's going to be for you to find out, assuming you go for the gusto and get the high end tier. Alright. That being said, I'm going to get out of here. You can like the video, subscribe to the channel, get videos like this, and eventually, again, my long-form gameplay back in your feed, so you can watch all of my shenanigans in Middle-earth and other realms. Thanks for watching, and be good. And if you can't be good at it. I'll see you in the funny pages. Take it easy now. Bye!